Hi everyone, Cory Caruthers here at the Matuska Taxidermy booth. Today I'm going to work on doing some eye rings. So I'm going to mix up part A and part B with very little water. Just a little bit of water, I should say. And I'm going to mix this up thoroughly. Okay, mixture is complete. I'm gonna roll this out. I'm gonna try this on this tablecloth. Hopefully it'll work. We will see. I'm gonna take a little pinch. Nope, it's not gonna work.
Are you just using the part B?
Part A and part B both.
You did mix it?
Yep, I did mix this. And I'm gonna roll this out thin. I'm using both fingers to spread it out. A little bit broke off, which is fine. Until I don't want it to.
So how thin do you want to roll that?
Well, I want to roll it thin enough in some areas and thick enough in the front part of the eye, thick enough on the bottom part of the eye. Towards the rear of the eye, it wants to be thin. Where is my scalpel blade? Cut off one end. Cut off another end. Roll it out. Just a little bit more on the thicker end.
Hello, Michael from LaPorte, Indiana. Thanks for joining us.
How you doing? Any questions? Shout them out. All right. That is looking pretty good to me. You kind of see how this is thick on both ends and thin in the middle. Now, yeah, if you want to come around and take a peek, you sure can. No, you're fine. You might have to have Sadie move. All right.
Hey, Derek from Utah. Thanks for joining us.
All right, I'm going to pick this up with my brush. And it's slightly wet, and we're going to move this up onto the bird.
Hey, Cory, say hi to Clay from Canada.
Hey, how are you? All right. I'm going to put my special glasses on. Can everyone see me just fine? All right. I'm going to cut off the edges here and try and get my approximate length. I still want this to be a little bit smaller near the rear of the eye, and also just a little bit thinner on the lower lid. So my cut right here is not going to be too exact. I'm not going to worry about it too much.
Hey,
Okay.
Bob from Kansas.
I'm going to take this off. All right. Put that back on the table.
I look for a wrong shirt. I look for a white shirt.
Roll this out just a little bit thinner. Right in the middle. The lower eyelid. All right. Looks like that's about ready to go. Actually, I need to turn. It's about equal.
see through your phone. I can't. I don't want to get in his way.
Brandon says he would have dropped it 3 times already.
I know. Takes a little bit of practice.
Sean wants to know where your lighted glasses are.
I accidentally left them in the back of my truck, so I'm gonna have to use my visors.
But those lighted glasses are still available at Matuska Taxidermy. You can order those online, and they are available in different strengths.
Anywhere from a 2 and a 3, I believe.
Jeremy wants to know if you follow the same process for a competition bird as well.
I do. This is it. All right. Now I need to take a step back and take a look at my thickness on the eyelid.
Is your brush dry, Cory?
It is slightly wet. The brush is slightly wet. Yep.
All you cash reward winners, those checks, if you haven't got your check yet, it's ready at the restoration desk. Also, Dave Sprout, Mary says your check is ready also.
Okay. I'm going to wet this down to help adhere to the eye.
So I'm thinking I'm going to try that.
So as you all can hear from all the commotion, we're still at the 2019 World Taxidermy Championships. We're in the Matuska Taxidermy booth. And lots of folks still walking around, checking things out, taking part in several live demonstrations taking place at the Matuska booth. Cory's just happens to be one.
What I'm doing now is I'm pressing down the epoxy sculpt down onto the eye. Need a little bit more water.
Derek wants to know, do you prefer to do eye rings after the bird is mounted, or can you get the same results if you do eye rings before the bird mount?
You can't get the same results afterwards. I'm just really old school and I like to do it afterwards.
So you mean you can't get the same results
Yep.
before?
Yep, you can't get the same results before. I'm just not that gentle while I'm mounting up the bird and try to put the skin on and move it around, and I have a tendency to break them off. I've done that a couple times. Okay, now to create a thinner eyelid after it's on the bird, I'm going to make sure that the scalpel blade is slightly wet. I'm going to start cutting off the outside edge.
Hello, Italy. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Italy. So you can do this to make any eyelid smaller, like on your pintails, redheads, your teal. You can do it this way, this method.
Can you use floor wax over a finished Euro eye and eye ring?
I believe you can. To get that glossy look back, I assume that's a question? Yes.
Yes.
All right, this is something we can work with. I think the customer will be happy on this.
Thank you, hon.
All right, I typically let this set up for about 15 minutes before I start doing my indentions, but for this little seminar I'm going to give, I'm going to go ahead and do it right now. The reason why I like to let it sit for 15 more minutes is so the line the light on the bird isn't so harsh, I guess you could say. When it's nice and moist, when you press down, it's a harsh line. If you let it wait 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so, you get a little softer, rounded dome to each indention. So we'll go ahead and sneak down here.
Yeah. I was just going to say, we appreciate it. Yeah.
Start making slight indentions. Don't cut through it.
Brandon, this is part A and part B epoxy.
Is it staying pretty messy up there? Pretty steady? What do you think about it?
So as you can see, I'm kind of rotating my bird around. Oh. Sorry. I need to smash this back down. Just a little bit of pressure back down onto the eyelid or eye. And that is another reason why you let it set up for 15-20 minutes so it has enough time to stick. Now there's two more procedures to the eyelid. It's just not making this one little indention. We're actually going to go around the entire eyelid to make sure that there is an indention throughout the whole thing instead of just on one spot of the eyelid. Okay, that's my main one. You like that bird? Now I'm going to go on the inside of my eyelid. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the handle because my handle is too long. The handle will get in my way of my glasses, my goggles. Yeah, it's wanting to move on me just a little bit because it's not set up.
Looking good, my man.
Thank you. You guys have any questions at all? Anyone? No? Okay.
No. When you go to paint that, you just use a brush, or what's your steps of painting it?
Yeah, I just use a paintbrush.
Okay.
And for commercial purpose, I like to use Wildlife Colors Spring Red. Oh, messed up just a little bit.
You should have mixed some pan pastels into that and a pre-color.
Pre-color it.
Pan pastels, what are those, Brett?
Those are your instant fix for gray epoxy.
So Gary wants to know, how in the world are you going to paint them?
Paint the eyelids with a real fine paintbrush. Where'd Brett go? Brett is busy with the customer, so I cannot ask him the question of using pan pastels with epoxy. All right. Take a peek how it looks. Okay, now I'm going to do the outside. Flip the bird upside down. Do my top eyelid. Looks like that top part is good, except for right in here. All right. Now, I typically don't have to use a paintbrush to smooth out these lines a little bit, because I typically let it wait, like I said before, 10-15 minutes or 15-20 minutes before I start doing my indentions. The lines are a little harsh.
Question, do you ever scratch the eye with the tip of the razor, and how do you fix that?
As soon as you do that, you're kind of done with, to be honest with you.
Okay, we have some final specials going on for the two.
And tell us again what you use to paint the eyelid.
I use Wildlife Colors Spring Red.
Sam and Linda Gaylor. So come pick up your Anthony, Eddie,
And John Rogers, yes, Cory does accept out-of-state birds to mount. You can message him directly on Facebook at Cory Caruthers, and
get your ticket in.
two can discuss your needs from there.
Yes, sir, we can.
Extra 5% off all of our forms. So our forms
Just
are
give me a
all
message and
forms off, so we don't have to take them home.
I'll be talking to you.
Extra 5% off, get your ticket in for the Irada HPV Plus, and we will be drawing that about, probably 1:15-ish. So stop at Matuska's. Thank you.
All right, everyone. There's my eyelid. Voila. There you go.
All right.
Come and stop by the Matuska booth if you're here and say hi. Thank you very much.